talked about this special thing we've been wanting to do for several months. And Sabrina's going to share with us today some of the things that she's going to look for in a husband. How old are you, Sabrina?
I'm 10.
She's 10 years old, but she already knows what's important to her and what she's going to seek for in a young man that she would have take her to the temple and be married for time and all eternity. We're going to let her share some of those thoughts now.
I want us to be really like a Steve and Pam. We're always happy and never gripe at each other. I want him to listen to, like we wouldn't argue if he wants to get a new car and I say that we don't have enough money. I don't want him to argue with back, or I want him to be happy and like music, because our whole family likes music, and to want to spend time with our family and have a lot of kids, because I like a lot of kids, and to really be spiritual and read the Book of Mormon and the Bible a lot and have a really strong testimony, and just be really strong in the church. And I want him to go on trips with our family and do a whole bunch of family things, because I've had so much fun with our family, and I want to have the same with mine.
Does he have to be handsome?
He doesn't have to, but I'd like it if he was.
Okay. And does he have to be rich?
Nuh-uh. I don't care.
Okay, what else, darling?
I want him to smile a lot. Like, because Mama always smiles and y'all always smile, and it just makes other people feel good when you smile a lot. And just...
How do you want him to treat you?
I want us to be partners, kind of, and we will be partners, and I don't want him to ever argue with me, or I can't argue with him either, and I want him to love me and never be embarrassed to hug me or kiss me in front of him, or hug me, and I want him to treat me like he would want me to treat him. There's scripture about that. Do unto others as they would have you do unto them. And that I feel like he should treat me like he wants me to treat him.
What about schooling? What kind of education? Do you want him to have a college education?
Yeah, I want him to go to college, and I would like to, I don't know what I don't care what he is.
As long as he does a good job at it, huh?
Yeah, I want him to like his work.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, what about, does it matter whether or not he's willing to pay tithing?
Yeah, he needs to pay a full tithing, because he needs to help the church, and if he's strong in the church, he'll pay his tithing.
And he'll serve a mission too. I imagine you won't settle for someone that's not a returned missionary.
Does that matter to you, darling, if he goes on a mission?
Uh-huh.
You want him to go on a mission?
Yeah, and if we get older, I want us to go on a mission together.
That's great.
Because I probably won't be able to go on a mission, and I wanted to go on a mission.
That would be wonderful.
Why do you want one that goes on a mission?
Because I want him, because that's what the Lord wants him to do, and I need to have a person that's willing to serve the Lord.
Yeah, good. And Does it matter to you if the boy has gone around with lots of girls and done bad things?
Yeah, I don't want him to do that because if he does it with them, he might do it with me. Well,
you mean if he's married to you, he might cheat on you or something?
Yeah, he's been out with a lot of other girls, and he might want him back. Look at me.
But he's going to date other girls. You just don't want somebody that's done bad things with him.
Yeah, and I want him to be honest and tell me everything. Well, not some of his things he don't want to do.
Almost everything.
Yeah,
right?
almost everything. I'll have a couple things I might not want to tell him, but he just a couple things that don't even matter. But he needs to be really honest with me.
That's good.
Well, what would you think if he argues or fusses at his mother?
If he fusses, I want his family to be happy together too. And I don't know. I wish he wouldn't do that. I wouldn't like him to do that.
I mean, if he fussed and argued with his mother, would that scare you a little bit, you think?
Yeah.
Why?
Because if he fussed with his mother, he might get fussed with me.
Yeah. How about with his little sisters or brothers?
If he fussed with them, then he probably doesn't get, he probably may have a bad temper and fuss at me too. I don't want him to, because I want us to be partners.
Uh-huh.
What about when he comes home from work and little children that need bathing and feeding? How do you want him to help?
He needs to help me do that because I've been doing it all day long. And I think like he could bathe the kids while I fix supper or something. And he helped me too.
That's good.
Well, what would you think of this boy? I'm talking about before you get married. And he says that when I get married, I'm going to go to work, and when I come home, I'm going to sit down and watch the ball games on TV, and you're the one that's supposed to take care of the kids. What would you think of that?
It'd scare me, like he'd never do. Well, wouldn't really scare me, but I don't know, it would kind of bug me that he said that, or that he would do that and he's not willing to help me.
I bet it caused you to think about it. Is this the kind of person I really want in my home?
Yeah, if he does that, seems like he'll just sit around and be lazy. Because when they do that, it seems like only lazy people do that.
Would it bother you if he was lazy?
Kind of, it would, I guess, because, well, we need help, and he might not be willing to help us if we really need help.
Yeah. You said something about a mission. What you're thinking about the temple, does that matter to you?
Yeah, we need to go get married in the temple, because then if we don't get married in the temple, then we won't, when we die, we won't be together in heaven. And when the Lord wants us to get married in the temple, because we need to be together in heaven forever.
Yeah, well, that's good. What if this fellow that takes notice of you, say some fellow notices you.
About the...
Now, honey, what if this guy noticed you and you noticed him, and then you learned from him that he's had a big problem as a doper? Do you know what a doper is?
Someone who does dope.
Yeah, which is another name for what?
A drug.
Drugs. So, suppose he'd been using a lot of drugs.
I wouldn't marry him because the Ten Commandments says that we're not supposed to do drugs, and it would make them drunk or would act weird, and the Lord doesn't want us to do that, and I can't marry someone who doesn't obey the Lord's commandments.
Besides that, what might drugs do to the brain?
It might kill his brain.
Or at least part of it, huh?
Yeah.
Might fry part of the brain. And you get somebody hooked on drugs, and you might have somebody with a damaged head.
Yeah. He might.
Does the same thing apply to, smoking? What if he asked you out and all this, and wanted to talk serious, but he was smoking?
The Lord doesn't want us to smoke.
What would you think of it, though?
If he was smoking, it would make me scared of him, and I wouldn't want to date him anymore.
How about if he sweared a lot? Swore?
I wouldn't marry him either, because we shouldn't swear, and if we swear, then we'd swear at the Lord, and that's the Ten Commandments, not to swear at the Lord.
Yeah. Besides that, usually a person that swears either has a dirty mind or else they have a temper. If they swear because they're mad, that means they have a temper. Otherwise, if they swear, it's usually because they have a dirty mind. Well, did you cover everything you wanted to say about the temple? Do you have a preference as to which temple?
I don't know, I'd get married when y'all got married. Where'd you get married?
Salt Lake Temple?
That's
But the
it.
Dallas Temple, any temple is okay, though, so choose the one you want.
Okay.
And it's like your mother and I used to say, we'll go to whatever temple you choose if it's in the United States, continental United States. That means the United States. We'll go to any one. Now, if you choose one in Australia, they have a Melbourne temple, don't they? Do they have temple?
I'm not sure.
Oh, no. I know they got a New Zealand one, but that's too far for us.
I don't think I'll go to Australia. I'll probably go somewhere in Texas
Well,
or Utah.
yeah. Okay, darling. Have you found the guy yet?
Mm-mm.
You
If I
have?
have, I don't know.
Well, he'll sure get a prize when he gets little Sabrina Packard.
Honey, are you trying to live up to all those standards that you have in mind for the fellow?
Yeah, I'm trying, and yeah, if he's not like that, then I'll probably look a long time for someone else.
But you're trying to live those same standards? You're doing all right at it?
I haven't really started yet.
Started what?
Looking for a husband.
No, but are you doing pretty well at living those standards?
I guess.
But you haven't started looking for the fellow yet?
Good.
I'm too young.
Well, when are you going to start looking? In other words, when are you going to start dating?
16? I'll date when I'm 16.
If somebody asks you, you mean?
Yeah.
But you're going to wait until 16, huh? I mean, what if this basketball hero asked you out on a date when you're only 15? How would you handle it?
I'd say I can't go.
You can blame it on to Daddy if you want to. They say Dad said no.
Okay.
And then they'll say why, and what would you say?
You can ask him that.
But do you know why?
Why? Oh, because I'm too young?
If you're under what age?
16.
Okay, dear.
Why don't you give your dad a great big hug?
Yeah.
Oh, what a joy. Sweet little doll. Thank you so much for the time this afternoon.
Welcome.
You're a sweet, sweet girl. We appreciate you
She's
helping.
an angel.
She is at that,
Yeah.
for sure. Bye-bye.
And I've decided I wanted to make a videotape for my posterity and for myself on probably the most important thing in my life, and that most important decision I will make, and that is the types of qualities that I'm looking for in a husband. And I wish I would have done this long ago, and in fact my younger sister Sabrina has already done this, and I hope that my children will want to do this at a younger age, but I realize before it's too late, since I'm not married yet, then I want to go ahead and get this done. I took a marriage prep class where I thought about a lot of these issues, and we even had to write them down, and some of them that I've written on a piece of paper, and I'll refer back to that. But I think it's important that I take note of the qualities that I want, and not just think that the right guy's going to come around, but if I actually have to pinpoint certain characteristics that I want in someone and certain characteristics that I hope they have, but then there are a few that are a must in my own personal decision, and I want to point those out. So when my husband one day does see this, he'll make sure he's all these things. Okay. The first and foremost is spirituality, and a lot of things can go under that. That's one, having, of course, the testimony of the gospel. I want him to know, of course, that the gospel comes first always, and one that's going to go to his church meetings, and one that I'm not going to have to say, oh, should we go to church today, or if he's not going to ask me that, rather. Or one that is going to give 100% to his callings. Also under spirituality means I want someone who can feel comfortable talking about spiritual things, that we need to have a spiritual relationship as well. I know that I've dated some people in the past that we could never really feel comfortable talking about, deep spiritual topics, and that's spirituality ties in with compatibility and physical aspects of a relationship. And I want someone that can get up and bear their testimony and not be ashamed and not feel shy, and someone that feels so firmly about the gospel that they don't mind telling it to anyone, in a respectful manner though. Under spirituality, so many things can tie under, but I just kind of put it all under one thing. Another thing is I would love for them to have served a mission, and I can't say that they have to have served a mission or I will not marry them, because I haven't served a mission myself, and I'm not of age yet anyway. But if I don't, I would love for them to have served a mission. My brothers did, and my dad did, and it's kind of always one of those things I've hoped for. So I guess that would go more under my hope list, but it's kind of in the middle, because it's almost a must, but not quite, because I know under certain circumstances some people cannot, whether it's financial or whatever it may be. But if they did not serve a mission, I hope it was for a very good reason that they could not or did not. Another one of the things that is on my must list is I want someone who's ambitious. I know that family is important, and I don't want someone who's going to put their job before everything else, but I want someone who is willing to work hard and knows what working hard's about, but willing to play hard also. I hope that he would want to work hard, that way we could support a family, and I'll go into family in a minute, but I want someone who knows the importance of success, but not letting that get out of hand. I hope that he would not, if he is very successful, not let that get to his head, and not let him take that success to an extent to where he ignores other things that are more important. I can think of certain examples where people are making a lot of money and they just kept working the real long hours just to make more money when they already were making plenty for their family. And so I would hope that he would not be, that he would be good with his time and managing his time with his success and his job, whatever it may be. I don't have a specific requirement on what someone wants to be. They don't have to be a doctor or a lawyer, and a lot of times I've even gone with people that have been intimidated by the fact that I have brothers that are doctors and lawyers, and they feel, oh, well, I even a quote one of my guy friends said, well, I'm just not Packer material, and he thinks that impressed me and made me feel good, and when it didn't, that made me feel like, well, I don't expect you to be Packer material, but if you're going to have that kind of attitude, then I don't want to be with you anyway. The point is he didn't have to be Packer material, but he needs to have, I guess you could say, Packard ambition. He doesn't have to be a doctor or lawyer, but if he's going to do whatever he's going to do, whether it's a truck driver, he better be the best truck driver he can be. My point is give 100% to whatever he is going to do. Now, if he wants to be a doctor or lawyer or something like that, that still makes good money. That's on my bonus side. That's on the hope side. Because it's nice, money's nice, but only a certain extent. Another thing on my, let me look on my list here. We're going to talk about family a little bit. My major is family science at BYU. I'm very family oriented. I've learned a lot of great things coming from my family, And I hope to incorporate those same things, the positive things that I've learned in my family, into my own family. And I've said this before, but I'll say it again, and I never want to have to say, golly, I wish that my family, meaning when I get married and my children, I wish my family was as good as the family I had growing up. I never want to have to think that, and I won't. I just won't settle for that. I want to make my family the best. And I feel like I've grown up in such a great environment, and I love my family so much that it almost sometimes scares me that how am I ever going to be able to top that? And I don't want to. I want to be able to top that, pretty much. I want to have my family to be the best. And I think I can do that. And some of the things I want to incorporate in my home, this is for my own future reference in case, Priscilla, in case you start forgetting, these are some of the things that I remember doing. And one is family prayer. Dad and Mom never neglected our family prayer, no matter how tired or what. Morning prayer before school and evening prayer. And I think that's one of the things that really held us together a lot, was so we could always count on being together then. We also ate breakfast together in the mornings before school as a family, even if that meant missing the bus. That bus ride isn't as important as having the family in those precious moments every morning together. Another thing we did was family home evening, a regular family home evening. We had games and we had a lot of fun in our home. Fun is so important. You can't always get so stressed out. And rules are important, and being strict, all those things. Dad was strict, and they wouldn't let us go out to the parties and those kind of things. But because we could compensate and have fun in the home, it made it where we didn't really feel like we were missing out. So in my home, I know I'm going to want to be strict and stern on my children, but I need to remember that it's best to incorporate fun. And if I am going to not let them go, then do something to make up for that. Whether it's taking them on the town myself, or let them invite someone over to the house, or something to make up for that. Because if not, then they're going to rebel somewhere or another. They're going to do something to get me back. And that's one thing that I noticed. Okay, have fun in the home and family-oriented. I hope my husband will be family-oriented and want to have children, and not just one or two, but if situations allow, I want my body to physically be able to handle it. I understand there's some situations people can't have children, and so we're going to do the best of what we have. If I'm physically capable of having children, I want to have them till whether I don't even financially, the Lord's going to provide a way, and I want to go within reason, but I'm not going to just say, if we had the money, I'm not going to justify and say, well, we could use this money for something else. If I know if it should be right for me to have children, then I want to go for it, period. Right now, I can't say how many children I want to have because I haven't had any, and I really don't know what that's like, and people always say, oh, once you start having, you're going to change your numbers. But if I were to give an estimate, I'd say between 8 and 12. But that's just saying now. I could say, after my first two children, I could say we're stopping at 4 or 5, but I'm hoping, because you just learn things different. You learn more things coming from, 3 children than you do from 1 child, and you learn more things coming from 8 than you do from 3, and I've learned a lot of things coming from 14 than I would have learned another way. So that's my point on that. I want someone who's going to be gentle, not overbearing. I want someone with authority, and I'm a very dominant person, and I like to be in control. But more than that, more than me liking to be in control, I like for a man to be in control over me. Because I don't like to always be the one with I like to know that I could be in control, but I don't like to always be in control. But, and that's a positive, and sometimes it's a negative. And in some relationships I've had, it's been negative because by default I've been kind of the steer runner of the relationship when I haven't wanted to be. I want someone who can be more dominant, but not in a harsh way. One that can go hand in hand together. When he's not way more than me, but he has the say so, but I have a say in it also. But I want him to be, I don't want to always have to be, okay, this is happening, now we're going to do this. Honey, what do you think about that? Oh, never mind. I don't want that. And I've seen that in some relationships before, and especially with my packet blood in it has a tendency to come out. And I don't want that. But he must be gentle. He must be gentle with me. I want to know if he's going to treat me when he's upset and angry. Is he going to bring his problems from the office home? Mm-mm. My dad, he's an attorney, and he could have brought a lot of problems and worries home, and so-and-so's in jail, and so-and-so this, and I'm not having any, none of my cases are coming in, all those kind of things, and he never brought any of his worries home from the office, and I hope my husband would do the same. Leave the problems of the office at the office, and when he comes home, that's when it should be the best time. So you let all those things aside, and I hope he would be gentle with me, and in punishing the children, I hope he would be quick and get it done. You know, I'm gonna probably spank my children too, but it's not because I want to hurt him, but I'm gonna do. I want to be gentle, but get my point across. Someone who's kind and loving. Kind, you know, it's a very general word, but I want someone who's going to treat me good, to make me feel good, and I want to feel better when I'm around him. I want to feel like I want to be better, like, I just want to be better every time I'm around him. I want someone who's going to lift me up and not drag me down. And I feel like I've worked hard in my life, and I've tried to be a good person and keep myself morally clean, and read my scriptures, and I do a lot of the things that we're told to do, and there's a lot of things that I really need to work on. But I think that I've made myself worthy of someone who would treat me nice, and someone I deserve to be treated nicely. And I've worked hard and tried to have good qualities in my life that I deserve someone with these things that I'm mentioning, because I've tried as hard as I can to have them in my own life as well. And there's, of course, a lot of things that I'm lacking. Okay, let me see my list. Okay. On my hope list, those are most of my musts. But on my hope side, I mentioned the mission, I mentioned money. It'd be nice if they had money. That's why I just said it'd be nice, and it's fun to struggle, and every marriage is going to struggle financially. You're never going to have enough money, and that's part of the fun, I guess, is struggling together because you grow together. But and I don't mind that, and I don't want to struggle all the time. That's what I'm saying. Okay, I would also like if he comes from a strong family too, because I will want to be around their family, just like I'm going to want to be around my family. And I want to feel comfortable with them and be able to call them mom and dad and just hug. And I come from a real huggy, affectionate family, and I don't want to have to change the way I am, you know, too much. I'm willing to change for people because no one's ever going to be just like me, and I'm not going to be like anyone else. But I want to feel comfortable and not have to show a quote fake side, or I don't want to have to adapt that, because that's good. If it was something bad, that'd be one thing, but it's good to be affectionate and to an extent. Anyway, I hope that he would be easy to relocate if he does want to go into law and there would be an opening in my dad's firm. I hope that he wouldn't be so insistent and we have to stay here because this, or wherever he's from, if he wants to, move to Alaska or something, or if that's not the most important thing to me, but sometimes people have to relocate due to jobs or whatever, and I would hope that would not have to be a painful process and change our lives forever. So those are some of the main things that I've thought about, not only in the last couple of years, but as, growing up, things that I've tried to implement in my life. And my parents have taught me since I was younger that marriage is going to be so important, and they didn't start telling me that when I was 8 and 10 years old, but now that I know, they tried to teach me things when I was younger so that I could be a better wife and mother. And that is in my patriarchal blessing. My grandpa was my patriarch, and I told him that was the biggest goal that I had in my life. And that would be to have a successful and happy family, happy and spiritual, and that my family would not be a trouble family, and I wouldn't have little hellion kids that would just all my kids would be trouble. I just prayed, and I can't say I deserve that, but I hope for that, because I'm trying hard, and I will try, and I'm going to try to do all the things that I know are right. And so that's been my goal. Even since I was younger, I've always wanted that. Even I started thinking about this when I was 10 and 12. Honestly, started thinking about, I hope I have a good family. I hope I have a good family. And now as I realize it's probably going to be within the next probably 4 years or so that I'm going to have my own child. That's guessing if I get married within 2. I was saying 4 years. I'm almost 20. And I'm guessing in 4 years I'll have a child, at least one. And so, you know, it's not very far away, so it's time to start thinking about these things. And I just want, and I know if I have the gospel and the church in my life, then everything's going to fall in place like it should, like it has in my own life. As long as I keep putting that first, before fun, before ambition, before money, glory, all those things. I know if I put the gospel first in my life and in my family's life and make sure my children are doing those things and reading the scriptures and teach them at an early age, start even younger than I did, because I wish I had better habits, you know, even praying habits and scripture reading habits. If I start my children when I'm young, hopefully they will have better habits even than I do. So those are some of the things that I'm hoping for in a husband, and I know that I can't expect those in a husband unless I do those myself, those things, at least try it. I can't expect a husband to be kind and gentle to his brothers and sisters if I'm not with mine, and it's a two-way thing. And so by talking about this makes me want to do better also. So I have my dear friend Sherry Porty who's taping this for me. I'm going to let her ask me some questions if she wants to.
Well, you touched on how he would treat his brothers and sisters. I think your dad has told you all your growing up years that that's something to watch for. Mm-hmm. When you start deciding, you look and see how he treats his own family, because that's how he's going to treat you.
Right. And you try to find them when they're their maddest or their worst point, because in a marriage there's always going to be things that make the wife mad and the husband mad, and to see how they're going to react in those situations. Try to see them now, because that's exactly what's going to happen. And this is just the beginning. So if you're engaged and he doesn't treat you respectfully, and if he's not nice to me and things of that nature, when he gets mad, just imagine it's going to get a lot worse, because we're in the most lovey-dovey stage when you're engaged.
Best foot forward.
That's right. So whenever you get married, you know, they go, oh, we're already married now. Now she can see the true blue me. You know, I don't want to have to be like that.
That's good. Priscilla has been a jewel all her growing up days, and whoever gets this sweetheart is going to be so blessed. She really has been a good girl, and all the things she said are true. She's prepared herself for someone really special. I've told my children all the time they've been growing up that Heavenly Father is preparing someone special for them, and there's a mama out there who's training up a sweet young lady for Bryce and some sweet, fine young men for my girls, and I know that that's true for you. There's been a special mom that's put a lot of effort and prayer and, you know, loved her son, and he's getting ready for you too.
Yes.
And you can hardly wait till you meet him, right?
No. Who knows, I may already have.
You might have. We'll have to see. We'll just wait and see, but it's wonderful, and I'm really proud of you, Priscilla. I think this is a grand thing that we're doing. We did it for Sabrina, and I love it. I just think it's wonderful. Hope you won't mind me sharing it with my girls if it will be helpful. But I love you.
Let me make one last comment.
Okay.
These things, especially if someone else can be watching at my own age and during this time, I'm bringing out all these important things, no matter how cheesy they may sound, because this is the basics, and we're here on this earth for, you know, one reason. That's to live our life, fulfill it, and get married and start our own families, because we're going to be eternal, and this is the most important decision you'll ever make in your life. And I think that's why we've got to do it right. You can't mess up. And so that's why I keep touching on these things. I'm not trying to be cheesy about it. I'm just not beating around the bush. No candy coating. I'm just hitting the points exactly the way they should be. And I'm not saying that I'm living them all 100% right. But the point is that I'm trying, and that I'm taking notice of these things. And that's a start. So, you know, to whoever may watch this, don't think that I'm thinking I'm holier than thou, or that I'm so good and have all these things and I deserve Mr. Peter Priested over here. I'm saying that I'm trying really hard, and I think I deserve someone who's trying at least as hard as I am. And so don't think I'm coming across cheesy, because these things are, this is what it's about. And none of this is cheesy when you start to boil down to it. It's just hard sometimes to, when we get caught up in the world, to realize that this is really what life is all about. It's not about fame and glory and money and popularity and beauty and all those kind of things. It's about the gospel, and that's why I'm bringing it up, because gospel, it all ties in together. And so that's what I wanted to finish up with.
It really makes a difference who you marry, because they can make you or break you.
Yeah.
I tell my young women they need to look around and see what marriages are like and what kind of people, and what kind of qualities it takes to make them successful. Find someone they really emulate and want a marriage like, and then be like that person and develop those same qualities. Well, I wish you well. I'm so proud of you and so thrilled, and it'll be fun for you to play this back to your teenage girls and have them see their mama at their age. It seems like a long way away, but I promise it's just around the corner. It comes really fast, and I wish you well. You're a beautiful young lady and a great example to all of us. I love you.
I love you too. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Today is January 1st, 1995.
All right, first of the year.
It's a very exciting day for me, because in 20 or 21 hours, my dear friend John Healy is coming down to see me. Picture, me and him. Okay, now I really like this boy a lot, but he doesn't know how much I like him, because I just keep it within the family and my aunt. But
and everybody in Williamson.
Everybody down here knows that everybody's been blowing it out of proportion. Everybody thinks I'm getting married in like 2 weeks, but the point is, I like him, and he meets. So far, everything I know has just been checked on my list, and when I first met him, it's just like I was like, "Excuse me, are you for real?" I was waiting for him to say he's divorced or something, or actually I just got out of jail, but I have all these good qualities. I just knew it can't be true. All these things are just too good. And I had my little checklist going, oh, really? Really? You're doing that? Oh, and that too? Okay. So, well, it's been 2 weeks since I've seen him. I've just been going batty, like crazy. It's like my feelings have multiplied. And so, finally, I haven't called him. He's called me 4 times. And finally, my brother was going to fly down from Salt Lake to Houston. He had a ticket, and he decided to come down. He drove down with my sister-in-law, so we had that empty ticket. And I said, They were saying, it's a bummer that ticket's going to go to waste. I said, excuse me, that ticket will not go to waste. So I decided I was going to call John, and I hadn't even called him. I was so nervous. So yesterday, I brought my old cordless phone here to reenact kind of yesterday. I picked up the phone and started calling. I said, no, I'm not going to do it. Forget it. It's too forward. It's too forward. And then my sister's like, come for it. Come on. They were all pumping me up. Get ready. Come on. And my hands are all sweaty. I'm so nervous. I've never been nervous like this before. Miss Meady's the one. No.
The phone call.
I feel like the movie, The Phone Call, that da-da-dun-dun, da-da-dun-dun, da-da-dun. And so I picked up the phone and dialed them. And like it rang one time almost, and I was like, forget it! Oh gosh, I can't do it! So it's like, Rebecca, your voice sounds like mine. You just do it. And they're like, Priscilla, just do it. And we looked for the video camera to tape while it was really going on, but couldn't find it. So I finally called, and he wasn't there. I did all that, wasting that energy, and he wasn't even there. But at least he had to call me back. So he called back, and I was so excited. And I'd been waiting for the phone call for he said he'd call back 2 hours later, and I waited, it's like 4 hours. Every phone call, like, hello. And then finally it was him, and my heart started beating. I started getting cold hands, and I wasn't even cold, and I was shivering, and I just took a deep breath. Okay. So I said, John, you're going to think I'm crazy. I've got something to tell you. He's like, what is it? I said, you always say more spontaneous and more fun. So finally I said, we have a free ticket from Salt Lake to Houston. We want you to come. Do you want to come? It would be so much fun. You can meet my family and meet my family. I didn't do that, but it's like it'd be so much fun, and we'd have a really good time, and it's free. You can't pass it up. You have no excuse. And he's like, I would love to come. So excited. I was trying so hard to contain myself while he was like, yeah, well, I would really like to come. And I thought it would have been a lot more expensive. I was trying to find tickets, and this whole time my sisters are all going, what's he saying? I'm like, I think so. Meanwhile, I'm just freaking out. And finally, he puts the phone down. I'm like, yes! Yes! And I started screaming around the house. Wow, I can't believe it! I'm jumping up and down. I even was hoarse this morning. And I ran upstairs and said, Jeff! He goes, I already know. When I heard you scream like that, I knew there's only one reason that'd make you scream like that. So, he is coming down tomorrow! But that phone call was on Friday, so I've been waiting, just like non-stop, just Twitter pating since Friday. Let's see, was it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday? Yep, since Friday. So here, I made it 2 nights since that phone call. I got 1 more night to come. But my sisters say that all the fun is waiting for him to finally get here. And once he gets here, it's going to be like, oh, all that for that. But
anticipation is half the fun.
That's right. But I can't wait for him to come. And whether or not it does work out, which truthfully I hope it does, but if it doesn't, then I've learned a lot of things because he's a really, really nice guy, and he's taught me that I've mentioned before that it's raised my caliber on what kind of guy I want to go out with, because he's got his act together, and he's just really neat guy, really good looking. And that was one of my, I forgot to mention, that's on my hope side, on my what type of man I want to marry. He's got to be good looking. Oh yeah, I hope he's good looking. In this case, he is. And he's just got his act together, ambitious and smart, and totally fun. And so, if it doesn't work out, at least I've had a good time, and I know that I want to go out with someone like him. John Healy. That's his name.
He'll be very smart if he grabs you up.
Well, I won't say that, but
I will.
I hope so.
That would be grand.
But this is what I said. If he goes for another girl, this is what I'm going to say. He says, Priscilla, I'm sorry, I'm going to go out with so-and-so, and I've been thinking. I'm going to say, listen, she may be prettier than me, and she may be smarter than me, but, in all humility, whatever else she can do, I would do it better.
And you won't find someone that loves you more than me.
Someone that could care for you and raise your kids better than I would.
That's wonderful. Well, so he'll have a prize if he's smart and grabs you.
So, John, if I do marry you and you see this, now you know what I've been feeling like all this time. And you haven't gave me any clue or indication on how you're feeling. I've been going fatty.
Wait a minute. 4 phone calls tell something.
Well, 4 phone calls tell something, but we haven't even talked about how we feel. So maybe that's half the fun. Maybe that's, I don't know. But
if it came too fast, it might be too scary. So
that's
maybe
right.
He's taking it slow and easy, so
he's
it'll
doing
be
the
right.
smart thing, but it's painful.
I know. Right now
I'm glad you did it the way you did it.
But guess what?
What?
Once he comes and he spends 4 days here, and then you go to Disneyland, that ought to be pretty set in cement. And I want you to call and tell me how it goes.
Oh.
I'll
So
be
poor John,
excited.
I want John to know, if he does watch this, that all this time that you tell that something exciting happens, I call all my friends. And Sherry, who's videotaping this, is one of them. So
yeah,
nothing's confidential around here.
I'm a confidant.
That's right.
And I'm just so thrilled for you. It's wonderful to watch this enthusiasm and excitement.
Bells will be ringing. Okay. That's enough.
Yes. Bye-bye. We'll see you later.
Yeah.
Number 13.
Yeah, and she has and straight hair. Remember, still, some things are the same in Texas.
That's right.
But I just wanted to say hi to Bryce and Jana and tell you that I love you and that I'm very proud of you. Your picture was in the Jana. Your picture was in the Dorian, and I just was so proud to see what you're doing. And you're doing exactly what I would be doing if I was old enough to help you there.
Well, we're proud of you, Sarah.
She tells me that she sent a copy of my conference tape. We should listen to it. I have listened to it, but I do know that I'm learning. If you can share that with me vicariously, I'd like to do that. Take care. Be sweet, but not too. And I hope I'm here when you get back.
We sure love you, Sarah. Thank you.
Bye-bye.